Dr. Murray. Thank you so much for attending the interview. So,
our first question is, what does it mean to have a degree of Master of Engineering Management?
So I think the engineering management degree from Duke really positions our students to do a wealth of things. You can go forward and become an analyst where you're doing technical work with a client. You can move kind of long-term into management and provide leadership for a team. You can move more on the business side and make a case for why clients should pursue certain solutions. So there's really a broad set of opportunities that students in engineering management have. I think it's one of the best things about our program. It can be frustrating at times for students because we don't have a specific answer we can give them. But I think it's a really powerful opportunity to position them for success in any which way they choose.
So our second question is, could you please share your personal experience about how you decided to choose your field of interest, which is computer science?
Sure, absolutely. So when I decided that I was going to go to school at Spelman College and Georgia Tech, my undergraduate institutions, I decided to focus on computer science, and this is a great story. I've always loved math and science, I've always loved technology, and computer science was this incredible blend of creativity and logic, because you could approach a problem in any way you wanted to code it, but it was either going to work or not, and I loved that. So it was a really great marriage of innovation and kind of just analytical thought. So I studied computer science and electrical engineering as an undergraduate, and I liked the technical content, but I also realized that I had a love for people. I really imagined that I was going to be in the back of a lab somewhere soldering two wires together. I was an electrical engineering major at Georgia Tech. I was a dual degree student. I studied computer science and electrical engineering. And I was so nervous that I was going to be locked in the back of a lab somewhere. So I kind of started thinking, how can I bring technology and people together? And so that's when I decided that I would pursue a graduate degree in human factors or ergonomics. And so that's the study of how you kind of make things to fit the human versus making the human fit the task. And I was really excited about bringing engineering together with psychology. And so that's what I studied for my dissertation, for my doctoral work when I worked on my dissertation. I decided that I wanted to go for the doctorate because I might want to teach one day, but I didn't know when. And so I did a direct track doctoral program and focused on human-computer interaction. And that's kind of how that marriage of computer science, electrical engineering, and industrial engineering was born for me.
Could you please share your experience about how you arrived at a decision to be a professor and work at Duke?
Yes, absolutely. So my life is this evolving journey, I think, which is always so funny. I never quite know where the path is leading me, but I do believe in being very open to opportunities. And so when I graduated with my PhD, I went to work at IBM here locally in Research Triangle Park, and I was in software development. So because I had studied human factors, I focused on cognitive ergonomics, or user interface design. And that's what I did with software, was to make our software at IBM easy to use. And so I enjoyed it, excuse me, really felt the technical challenge was right for me, but then had an opportunity to go into management. And I'd never thought about going to management. I wasn't going to go into management. I was going to be a senior technical staff member and become a distinguished engineer. I was going to be a technical all-star. That was my plan. But I had a chance to go into management, and I thought, wow, what an interesting challenge. I'll be responsible for providing direction to people, but I'll also be of service to people. I'll kind of be a support, an advocate for them. And that really appealed to me. So I went into management. 3 years after I started my job at IBM, I was in management for about 8 years, and was at IBM for a total of 11 years. Really liked management, really felt very challenged by it, but as my career at IBM progressed, I thought about just what it meant to have an impact during my career, what it meant to really do something that I felt energized by. And I was very challenged by my work at IBM. I learned a whole lot at IBM, but I got back to this notion of what would it be like to be in an environment where I could work with students and where I could share my experience and my perspective to help make life better for students as they moved forward into the world. So a friend of mine sent me an ad for a job posting at Duke University where they were looking for an associate director for professional master's programs. And so it was a blended role where the individual would continue to be a manager, manage a services team, but then also teach and advise students. And so I thought, wow, how incredible could that be now to pull these experiences from IBM forward into a university setting. I've always loved management, so the idea of being able to retain my role as a manager was also appealing. And so it was the perfect storm, an opportunity to still be a manager and to grow as a manager in a new organization, as well as the opportunity to work with students from literally around the world and to share my knowledge as an engineering manager, as a person who'd been a technologist, but also a manager. I've hired individuals, I've regrettably had to fire individuals, and so working in a realm where I could help prepare students for all of this was just outstanding. So that's kind of how my journey to Duke started. It was a graduate school journey that evolved into an IBM technologist journey that turned into a management role, that then turned into another management role, but as an educator.
So what are your top 3 expectations of MEM students at the end of the first semester?
So at the end of the first semester, my hope is threefold for our MEM students. First and foremost, I hope that our students have embraced the diverse opportunity they have to meet people from around the world. It's such a powerful chance to be here at Duke. Duke is an incredible institution in and of itself, but to be here and to literally be in a position where you can forge relationships, learn from people who've studied all different types of engineering and sciences around the world, from around the world, is really powerful. It's a great testament to just how you can broaden as an individual and how you can stretch yourself to meet people that you might think, yeah, I'd never know anybody from Australia, or I'd never know anyone from Chile, or I'd never know anyone from India. So it's just an incredible thing, I think, to leverage that opportunity. So diversity, exposure, and an appreciation for our global community here at Duke is first and foremost. The second thing is just more insight about the world of business. I think so many of our students come in and they have the technical background, but they don't understand what it means to really be successful in business and the kinds of processes and considerations that you need to kind of take into account when you're running a technical business or a technology business. So many people think if they understand technology and they've got a cool idea, that's good enough. But clearly we know that's not good enough. Learning about business means understanding how you add value as an employee, but how your technical ideas add value to your clients, how your company adds value to what you do in the world. And so my hope is after this first semester, MEM students have a bit more clarity around how technology and business come together to really provide value and make an impact. The third thing is, I would really hope that our MEM students are leaving the first semester with a whole new set of goals for the spring term. It's really important to understand just how quickly this process of graduate school, particularly for the MEM program, passes. It goes by so quickly. I tell people, you show up in August, you blink, it's October, you blink, it's December, and the next thing you know, you'll blink and it'll be May. And for those who are finishing the program in a year, it's super fast. Even for 3 semesters, it's incredibly fast. So I hope that our MEM students are thinking about the goals that they have in mind for the next term. Time is flying by quickly. What are you doing to make the most of your experience here at Duke? Not only for the MEM program, we want you to do well academically, we want you to connect in and get the knowledge you need to be successful in your career, but this is a great opportunity to be in grad school. Don't have any regrets. Think about what it is that you want to achieve, who you want to meet, what you want to learn, just what you want to do while you're here. Time is fleeting.
What advice would you give MEM students to approach career upon graduation of the program?
So in terms of approaching career after finishing the MEM program, I would really just ask all of our graduates to be open-minded. I think so often students have a vision of what they want to do, and a role has a certain title, and it's in a certain city, and they're doing a certain thing. And when I was a manager at IBM, and even in my role here as an advisor, one of the things that I've encouraged people to do is think about what you want to achieve. Think about what skills you want to add to your toolkit. Don't block yourself off by only looking at a title, or only looking at a certain company, or only looking at a certain city. Think about the experiences you want to have. I had an executive mentor once who told me, your career is like building a bag, a toolkit of skills. And so every time you look at your toolkit, you think, what am I missing? What do I need to add? What experience, what job opportunity can I pursue that'll give me a chance to build a skill in this area, or to work on a certain kind of project, or to broaden myself in a particular way? And I know for me in my own career, had I not been open-minded, I never would have been a manager, I never would have had that experience. And I probably never would have had an opportunity like this at Duke, because I never would have envisioned myself kind of leaving and doing something different. Change is scary. Doing something that you don't know completely can be a little frightening. But there's a lot of value and a lot of great opportunity in being open-minded and taking a chance. You can always switch up. You can always reinvent. You don't have to worry about making the right decision all the time, but if you're open-minded and you're honest with yourself about what it is that you want to do in terms of your growth and in terms of your impact, then I think you'll find you have a wealth of opportunities. In fact, you'll probably have some opportunities that you never even imagined because you weren't looking for them. You were open to the experiences and open to the attributes, and they will find you.
Our last question is, what's your favorite place to eat in Durham?
Oh, excellent. I love food, so food is fantastic. And I have small children, so I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, so my husband and I are often looking for things that will work for them. So we don't get to eat at the fancy places that we used to go to. So my favorite place right now is the Q Shack, and primarily because I love barbecue, and I love potato salad and baked beans and all those good kind of comfort foods. And so that's one of the places where we can go. My husband can get his barbecue sandwich. I love all the veggies. I love all the green beans and all of the fresh things that they prepare. And my children can get their turkey, and they love that. So that's a win for us. And hush puppies. You can't fit the hush puppies. That's one of the best things about the Q Shack. So that's my favorite right now.
Okay. Thank you.